Welcome to Hatteras Island on the beautiful Outer Banks of North Carolina. There is a particular type of person I made this video for, the person that finds joy and simplicity in the smallest of things, like truly believes and understands that the best things in life really are free. So I'm going to take you along on an activity that encompasses all of this for me. The best things in life are free, joy and simplicity. Let's go look for sea glass on the Outer Banks of North Carolina. This is a cold January morning. I am up at sunrise. This is a great size shell bed, so this is a big win. You're more likely to find sea glass probability-wise if you're in a shell bed, but because it's so big, I'm gonna drag my foot to kind of denote where I've looked and where I haven't so I can keep track. That way, I make sure I'm covering all my bases. You don't need a shell bed to find a piece of sea glass, you're just more likely to find one. And I've spotted my first one. It's a brown piece of sea glass. You can see the sand underneath. That's why it was so easy for me to spot. And then if you hold it up, you can see it's frosted. Next up is a piece of clear sea glass. I think this is easier to find than brown, but it can be tricky because it can blend into the sand. Here comes another piece of brown, and look how easy it is to mistake for just like another brown shell. Browns are tricky because there's so many brown shells. Here is another example. It literally just looks like a shell, but you can see it's frosted when you hold it up. Okay, here's a little perspective. This is how big this shell bed is, but look, I found a good one. It's laying right on top. You're gonna love it. What color is it? Green. It is a beautiful, like emerald green piece. We love these. And it's frosted, it's nice and worn down. Next up, I found another piece of brown. It is laying right on top, and you can see shells underneath, which makes it a little bit easier to find. But gosh, I mean, the browns, they really do blend in because there's so many brown shells. But look, it's beautiful. Here comes another green. This one was really bright, and it was sitting right on top. It's a little bit wet, which means it just came in, the tide just brought it in, and that does make it easier to spot, I think, when they're wet. But most of the time I'm finding ones that they've been washed up for a while. But perspective wise, watch this. Look what you have to look through to find this sometimes, so you have to be really patient and take your time. I decided to look a little bit further up the beach where there was less shells, but still I thought maybe there's a chance, and I found this really pretty clear one, so I'm glad I ventured out. Some people have asked, what is sea glass? Is it something that is like literally produced by the ocean? There is a type of sea glass that comes from the ocean. This is not. This is literal trash that someone threw into the ocean. It is litter, it is junk, and it turns into treasure. The metaphor here is that it was trash. It was junk, and it went in the ocean sharp and damaged, and it literally got tossed around in the salt water and the waves and the sand, and it became beautiful. It literally turned into treasure.